Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. for the Radiant Mind Meditation with Dr. John Gray, the #1 trusted relationship expert, the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. What many people don't know is that John Gray spent 9 years as a celibate monk and the personal assistant to the founder of Transcendental Meditation. During this time, he learned powerful meditation practices and techniques, which he has developed and refined for the last 50 years. He now brings us his resonance, wisdom, and energy every week on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. on the Soul Search Instagram Live, Facebook Live, and YouTube. Join us every Wednesday.
Good morning.
Good morning, John. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's Radiant Mind Meditation with Dr. John Gray. We are delighted to have Dr. John Gray with us every week, leading this Radiant Mind meditation. As you heard in the intro, John is a meditation master. He's been meditating for over 40 years, and now he brings us his wisdom, energy, resonance, so that we can all connect together in the quantum field and go to higher levels of consciousness together. So welcome, John. Thank you so much for being here today.
Tangela, thank you. And we just spent this weekend in Santa Cruz, had a really fun time. People can find the talk I gave there. I think we went on for a couple hours. I had just gotten back from Cairo and Egypt. And I guess I was in more of a different time zone. It's hard to know what time it is when you're traveling back and forth and going right to work. But what I find is because I meditate regularly for the last 55 years, it's pretty easy for me to get into the flow when I'm talking. And it's timeless. Even when we do these meditations, I don't know, they always end up around an hour. But it's last week, I think we were like 50 minutes, but normally it's like an hour. I'm trying to cut them down, actually, so it's a little easier for people's schedule. But it seems to be that's what they are. I do this because I want people to have an easy form of meditation where they just listen in and connect to the energy of the group. And for those who can sit quietly with their eyes closed and listen, that's also very powerful. That's sort of the intent. But even if you're just getting up and you're listening, it's good energy. And the other thing is we do record them. My wife asked me, are you going to keep doing this? I said, I'm not really sure. I don't know. We just thought to start doing it. Never done it before, but we're catch me while you can. Because I'm not sure I'll always do it, but this is really, really fun to do. And it enriches my life. I'm very busy these days, and but somehow I made it so early so it couldn't interfere with any of my appointments or anything like that. I want to mention to people that I'm in California, Marin County, and we do have my weekend relationship course. So that is this weekend. If people want to think about coming to that, we still have openings. Usually it's full, but this time we have openings. So if anybody wants to come this last minute, call Helena at go to marsvenus.com, find out at events. So we'll go ahead and get into our meditation now. Thank you so much for getting up with us here, Tangela, and everybody else. I talked just a little bit in the beginning as people are coming in, and now we'll get started. So a friend of mine called me who's been listening to these, and he calls it the hands up meditation. So we're going to do hands up is the way of starting is very simple, which is you're having your hands up like this. And we go through 6 movements. And today's meditation is focused on a really simple meditation. It's an energy meditation. So many people understand Eastern philosophy, Eastern meditations, and Kundalini yoga and so forth. And they talk about the 7 chakras. And so we're going to bring the energy down through 7 different intentions. And then we're going to bring the energy up through 7 different intentions. The intentions that go with the crown chakra, called crown chakra. It's a energy field right up here at the top of your head, a little crown, like a halo sitting on top of your head, a crown. And that is the That's the connection with the infinite spirit, God, universe, divine energy. That's a universal, all permeating life force energy that is within all of us, that's knowing itself as you and knowing itself as me. Through us, it has consciousness because we are one with that. So it's one way of saying it. And so the hands up in the air starts activating the crown chakra. So having the awareness of your hands and your fingertips, with your hands above the air. And as you listen to my voice, just relax. You can have your eyes closed. But during this time, for those that don't know the movements, you can watch me do the movements and just listening to my voice. That's called resonance. We're having a conversation. We're talking to each other. And as I go into my meditation and you're listening to my voice, it can be an assistance to you going into your meditation. In much the way when I was a little boy, I took tennis lessons. And when I played with the tennis pro, I was really, really good at tennis. And if I just played with my friends, I wasn't that good. So it's having that extra support of being with someone who's done something for a long time. It's automatic, it's easy. You just have your hands in the air. And you start to feel this tingling energy awakening in your palms. And for some that are more visual, you can actually experience as light, your hands lighting up, turning on, switching on, activating the opening of the energy channels. Now, the truth is the energy channels are always open. We wouldn't be alive if we weren't connecting with the spirit, divine energy, chronic energy, chi energy, and in Christianity, the Holy Spirit. So it's dear God, first part of the meditation. And then you open your arms up wide. Our hearts are open to you. And you put your hands back up just to start moving into this intention, dear God. And our hearts are open to you. And that's the awareness of love, the awareness of the essence of who we are. Our hearts are open to you. And that's your third eye. It's coming down to the forehead. You put your hands gently back up. That's dear God. We're anchoring in these movements and immediate awareness of these different energy centers. It happens automatically. When I do this, I'm not thinking about the energy centers, but today we are. Dear God, then arms wide open. Our hearts are open to you. And that's the forehead. And now to this expression, speech center, connection center, receptive center. Dear God, our hearts are open to you. And then you bring your hands to around the openness to the shoulders. Our hearts are open to you. Come. Drawing the energy in through the throat. That's where we swallow things. That's where we express ourselves, but also understand others. Communion, connection. Dear God, our hearts are open to you. Please come. And then your hands start tingling even more as you practice this more and more, just like it's an automatic switch. And then bring our hands slowly close together in a prayer-like position. And no need to touch. Sometimes we just want to, you can touch, but feeling the space between your hands helps your awareness become more subtle so you can feel the divine energy. And this is where you set your basic intention for the whole meditation. So it's, dear God, our hearts are open to you. Please come. Fill us with your love and light. That's a nice intention. Open our awareness to the energy channels. Bless us this day. Help guide us through our connection to you. Help us make the right decisions. Help us be more patient. One of my clients was feeling distraught. What am I to do? What am I to do? Of course, first I listened to her feelings, helped her express her feelings, the emotions. What am I to do? Be patient. That was the word. Things will change. Be patient. One step at a time. So that's the intent. And I feel like today, as we're activating these energy centers, and maybe you're feeling tingling energy throughout your body, since I was just there, we'll bring a little energy in from Egypt and Cairo, of the Great Pyramid. So our intention is to bring life force energy into our body, love, light, wisdom, and feel the energy with your intention. What's your intention today? Set the day with what you want to be, how you want to be. The theme of the day for you. And the theme of the day for me as I'm in this moment is one step at a time. Be patient. One step at a time. I'm inspired to say that because being in Cairo, although I wasn't there for more than 24 hours teaching a class, I had to go visit the Great Pyramid, which is huge. And it reminded me almost the same date in September when I was 21, I climbed the top of the Great Pyramid. And then I came back. It was either 20 or 30 years later and did the same thing in September. And then here I was at 70, 72, 73, whatever I am, going back to see the pyramid. And that's the first time I kind of felt old because there's no way I could climb it now in the amount of time I climbed it before, put it that way. I realized somebody said, how do you do it? It's huge. It's one block at a time. Just one at a time. And then when you come down, it's like looking down from a skyscraper. One block at a time. Otherwise, it seems huge. And it is huge. But our life is huge. It's funny, we're setting our intention to follow guidance, to be the best person we can, to make the right choices and decisions, to fulfill our mission in this world. So those are the first 4 blocks of this meditation: crown chakra, forehead, throat, and the heart is setting the intention. So bring it down to the power center. This is ironic. Power center, your power comes through you, the more selfless you are. So move the hands from over the heart center, where we can also, of course, set the intention to bless other people, which is the fulfillment of our mission. People often ask me, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? Well, in a general term, for all of us, it's to help. The male side of us is to help others. The female side of us is be happy, be loving, find joy in your day. And the male side is, in some meaningful way, the best you can, help other people. Set your goals and follow through. So we bring the energy down to the solar plexus, towards the belly. And it's a power center. It's like a sun. It's like a radiant part of you. And you can bring your hands forward. And this is your offering. This is what you're going to give to the world today. And it's the theme in these meditations is to use something to resonate with. It's really a sense of giving up yourself So many traditions, they make offerings into the fire. That's offering up something, offering up ourselves. And of course, in these meditations, we'll be offering up our negativity. We always like to take a little bit of time to offer up negative emotions, but we want to offer up, put our hands forward as if we're offering up something concrete. And you could light a candle, you could have water in front of you, you can imagine things and places. Right now, we're just going to imagine the energy centers. But we're using, let's do the ocean. Ocean is always my favorite. So using the ocean, using the water to resonate with. Use this water to fill us with your love and light. Using this water, fill us with your love and light. Now, for future meditations, you can always have a candle burning in front of you. You got a cup of water. You can put a piece of fruit in front of you using this food. You could have a crystal. Behind me right now is a crystal. And you can also, this is the medium through which you want to meditate. Using this medium. For those who believe in, or Christians who hold Jesus Christ as your Savior, you can say, "Dear God, my heart is open to you. Please come, fill me with your love and light. In the name of Jesus." So you're coming through Jesus. If you have a spirit guide, an angel that helps you, and we all do, but we just may not be aware of it. Through my guardian angels, come to me. But when you're inviting energies into your body, it's good to use the earth frequencies or frequencies that you're drawn to in terms of non-physical realities. This is all very non-physical, other dimensional. So in the name of Jesus, fill us with your love and light. And just feel the energy flowing into your fingertips, awakening your fingertips. Always bring your attention to the fingertips, the palms. And then the next movement is hands out. And for those of you that already know the movements, why we're spending so much time on them is that we're activating the different energy centers in our body by just spending a little time on each one. This is the solar plexus. Has to do with radiance. Has to do with power. It has to do with offering up yourself, because when you are in the mode of service, selflessness, helping, God's power comes through you more. It's fine to serve yourself as well. Your power diminishes. Let the energy flowing through you with this offering, emptying out. So that's your third energy center. And now we're going to go down to below the navel. 2 inches below the navel is the second energy center. The way you do that with the movement here in this radiant mind meditation is you go from making the offering to going like this. It's swinging your hands around like this, coming down. So you're going up and down like that. This is kind of like, oops. My morning tea. So your hands are out, making your offering, and then you're coming down. And coming down is this sense of being final. It's like you're setting all these intention connecting to God. Heart is open to you. Come. Fill me with your love and light. Use this frequency of crystal, of water, of light. You can use gold. You can imagine. You can actually put a lot of money out in front of you if you want to focus on drawing more money into your life. Use this frequency of money to fill my life. One of our other meditations, we used the gold bars. It was fun. Hands out, and then right now, that's the message, is right now. You bring it into the now. Right now, using this offering, fill us with your love and light. If you believe in Jesus, right now, in the name of Jesus, dear God, using this offering, fill us with your love and light. So you can combine it together, but this is the second energy center. It's in the moment, right now. Right now. And then all the way down to the base of the spine. And you can always give a little squeeze. That's the place we're most unconscious. And that is the place of the instincts, the unconscious, the primordial energy life force. So right now, using this offering, right now, name of Jesus, come, fill us with your love and light. Fill us with joy. Fill us with happiness. Help guide us in our lives. These are all just ask and you shall receive. This is setting your intention. Why we're doing this meditation is just to connect with the divine energy and feeling it in the body, bringing it into the body right now. And you're pulling it all the way from the top of your head, all the way down your body, stacking these intentions. Dear God, my heart is open to you. Please come. Fill us with your love and light. Using this crystal, using this water, using this light, candle light, fire. In the name of Jesus Christ. Right now, in the name of Jesus. And for all my friends in the Middle East, we were just meditating together in the name of Allah, in the name of Muhammad. Fill us with your love and light. Bless us this day. Right now. Just feel the energies in your body waking up, life force energy, beginning to move in response to your intention with an awareness of feeling, or simply a light of knowing, intending. And then, so we did a circle coming down, and then we can do a circle coming up, or just simply your palms opening up to an open position. You can see how my palms are open. And just that's a place to sit for a little while with gratitude. Thank you. What I'm being grateful for in this meditation, we started with thank you, because right now, using these offerings, we're receiving your love and light. Thank you, God, for these offerings are in the name of Jesus Christ. It's happening. It's a flow. We don't have to do anything about it. Just be aware. So that's the 7 levels going all the way down to the base of the spine. Let's take 3 deep breaths, just relaxing, breathing in energy and exhaling. Breathing in life force energy and exhaling. Breathing in life force energy. Exhaling. And we're going to do a little exercise here, having brought the energy down into the body. We're going to use the breath. So using the breath, fill us with your light and love. And we're just going to simply breathe in and exhale to the count of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then breathe in. And this time to the count of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. And breathe in. And breathe out to the count of 10. Breathe in. And exhale to the count of 11. And breathe in. Exhale to the count of 12. Breathe in. And let's go to 13. And let's go to breathe in. And once more to 14. And breathe in. And let's go to 15. And breathe in. And let's go to 16. And let's breathe in. And relax on the exhale. Breathe in. And relax on the exhale. So this is intentional breathing, using the breath to go into deeper states of relaxation. We brought the energy down, and now we activate by feeling the energy in our fingertips and our palms. This is activating what in the East in Kundalini Yoga is called Kundalini energy. It's just life force energy, potential energy. And it's a very safe way to do that. By extending the exhale, we're going deep into the most relaxed state of the body, the healing state of the body, effortless part of the body, non-stressed part of the body. Whenever you are stressed, you can just simply do this little prayer, then breathe in and then exhale longer. Breathe in, then exhale a little longer by counting. And then breathe in and exhale a little longer. And if you like this practice, it's really quite fun because you're listening with intent. Your body is slowing down the breath on the exhale so that you can go 1 second longer and 1 second longer. And sometimes I'll just practice that. Make my goal to get all the way to 32. It takes a while to develop that, but your body learns how to slowly exhale. And it actually does it for you to slowly build it up. So we're just going to be feeling the energy now, as our intention is to draw in the life force energy, the healing energy, light force energy to the fingertips, to the palm, to the elbows, to the shoulders, like drawing it in through a straw. Into the chest. And sometimes we do a full body scan where we go to each organ and smile into it with love. Imagine the energy flowing in, the energy of love coming to your shoulders, filling your whole chest. Now moving down the solar plexus to the belly. Let your belly just relax as if it's filling up with life force energy. Drawing from your fingertips to your palms, to your elbows, to your shoulders, to your chest, belly. And drawing from your fingertips to your palms, to your elbows, to your shoulders, your chest, your belly. And this is called body scan. And then go down to the pelvis area. From your fingertips to the shoulders, to the pelvis. You might find that your breathing appears to even stop. No longer needing to breathe in so much. Or not. From your fingertips to your shoulders, to your chest, to your belly. And your belly relaxing and expanding. And let the energy go down from the pelvis to the knees. Just by being aware of your knees, the energy will follow where the mind goes. All the way to your ankles. Into the soles of your feet and your toes. And remember the theme of the day is patience. Patience. And one step at a time. Taking over an hour to one big, huge block of the pyramid at a time. Climbing to the top, one step at a time. Achieving your goals, one step at a time. Feeling gratitude. Take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. I'm grateful for my family. For their health and happiness. I'm grateful for my health, for the healing energy that blesses my life. I feel grateful to Tangela and this soul search that motivates me to do this on every Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock. And then something really little and simple that you're grateful for. I'm grateful to my wife for the smoothies she makes me. They're delicious avocado coconut water smoothies with tea. Delicious. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now we brought the energy down, activating the Kundalini energy. And now we bring it back up, first in our body and then in our energy centers. And bring the energy back from the toes to the ankles, to the knees, to the pelvis, to the base of the spine. And today we're going to add color. This is going to be a color meditation of the chakras. Make it a rainbow. So at the base of the spine, imagine a red light, a ball of red light. And let the energy begin to move up the spine, 4 inches up. Imagine a ball of orange light there. The red moving into the orange. The energy of the second center is the energy of happiness, pleasure, delight. Whenever I have a chance to define friendship, which is the second center, it's not my own definition, but it's my favorite definition. It's to delight in the presence of another person with no agenda to change them. And with that awareness with some of our friends, it's so easy to have that feeling. Let's put that feeling into our intimate relationship if we can, if we have one. And if you don't have an intimate relationship, imagine having one. Draw it into your life. Being delighted in the presence of another person with no agenda to change them. And in order to fully enjoy the moment, in the second energy center, we ask that God, Divine Spirit, in the name of the Holy of Holies, take away any negative energy in our body. Take away any blocked energy. You see, every time you have a desire, energy comes to you. Ask and it shall happen. Energy comes to make it happen, one step at a time. But when we don't take action, we don't use that energy, it becomes blocked. All of us want love. We want to love deep inside. And whenever we stop loving, the energy becomes blocked and we feel frustration. So take away our frustrations. Or we feel disappointed. This is where we stop believing we can have what's most important. and that we always do have what's most important. Let go of any of our sadness or disappointments. Go a little deeper. What are our fears? Again, our fears is just when we stop believing. That's a perfectly normal. We just want to feel the fears and let them go. Give them a little attention. Offer them up. Take away the blocked energy. Imagine energy now flowing out your fingertips into the water, into the earth, the crystals, into the fire. On the exhale, breathing out negative energy, breathing out doubt, breathing out fear. Sometimes we're too afraid to look at our negative emotions. Just feel them, and they will go with the intention of let it go. Take away all the old locked energy stored in our body. Frustration, disappointments, worries, and concerns. Reflect on anything you feel embarrassed about. It's a powerful emotion to let go of. It's letting go of the belief that you're not loved. Letting go of the belief that you have to be perfect to be loved. You're loved the way you are today. You don't have to be perfect. Take away any feelings of regret, the pain we feel when we demand life to be perfect. Take it away. Forgive. Take away any negative energy. Heal our hearts. Bless us today by taking away any of the darkness. It's just feeling the blocked old energy flowing out. And now we're going to bring our awareness up to the third center. Imagine like a yellow, bright sun in the solar plexus area, or in the belly button area, whichever seems to be more real for you. It moves around. And this, we just sent energy out, emptying out energy. Now we're going to draw in more energy. This is the awareness of more. Dear God, through your angels, using the crystals, the earth, fire, all the offerings, fill us up with more life force energy. Give us more joy, gratitude, love. Help us to love more. Help us to be at peace more. Help us to have more abundance. Help us to have more time for the things that are important. Help us to have more ease and comfort. Help us to have more success. Receiving more. Imagine that more is a radiant light in the belly, in the solar plexus. Yellow light. And think of the sun radiating light out. As more comes in, you light up, radiating out. Think of the sun, unlimited life force energy radiating out, light pouring out, coming to you, filling you up with more light. Increasing the energy. So this is just literally increasing the frequency of your whole being, energy flowing up to from the base of the spine to the second center to the third center. Now the energy goes up to the fourth center, green light. When I do energy healing, I was at the Soul Search and had the Aura camera. I was doing healing energy on people walking around, and all this beautiful green light around me. Green healing light, nature, trees, leaves, flowers, all the leaves, they gather the sunlight. Beautiful trees, nature, grass, Mother Earth. So come into the heart, feeling the mothering energy, the loving energy, blessing energy. Come into the center of your chest. It's the fourth energy chakra, often associated with love. But it's also more than that. It's when you feel love. It's when you can imagine the most. You can imagine what it is you want. Being able to see what you want, know what you want, imagine what you want. And this is where blessings come into our lives. We all have different blessings. We come across certain situations where we're getting what we want. We see what we want. We experience what we want, even a little bit. That's what we want to build on. Can you imagine being happy and fulfilled? You think of someone who's happy and fulfilled. That's why mentors, role models are so important. That's why our desires, taking time to reflect on what you want in our abundance meditation, primarily stay in the heart center. Imagine what it is that you want. See it happening. As you're drawing in more energy, you send that energy out. You're channeling your life force energy into the belief, into the image, into the knowing of what it is that you want. Just as an architect draws a plan for what you want in great detail, and then you begin doing every little step, and the image, the reality becomes more and more clear. And when you want to build that image, make it more real. For those who are single, you want to imagine now being in a relationship with someone with all the good qualities that you've experienced in people. What qualities are there? Kindness, patience, positive attitude, forgiveness, joyful. As I mentioned, these qualities, just imagine them with the energy flowing up, move out, channeling through you, all the energy coming to you. You let go of the negative energy in the second chakra. You increase the flow of energy in. Because as you let go, as you breathe out, you can breathe in more. And now when you breathe in, you send back out through your heart center, channeling that energy into what you want to create in your life. If you're in a relationship, imagine your partner being a little bit better, a little bit more, a little bit more able to give you what you need. Channel that energy, optimism, belief, possibility, just a little step further. See them as happy, see them as loving you, see them inspired to be kind to you. You know, the inspiration to be kind to someone is an automatic reaction when someone is kind to us. When we receive, we're grateful for what we have, We have an abundance to give back. Now let the energy begin to move up to the throat center. In the throat center, we've been channeling energy out. We've been pulling more energy in. And this is where in the throat, we're going to be sending energy from the base of the spine up to the throat and back down to the base of the spine, circulating the energy. Energy flowing up and energy flowing down simultaneously, like a wheel. And here, because we're absorbing the energy, making it a part of our being, assimilating. So we went from receiving more energy to channeling that energy out, to creating, to now circulating the energy up the spine and down the spine, up the spine, simultaneously absorbing, becoming one with, taking in, circulating the energy. And to absorb energy is to imagine how you feel when you have what you want. As you created this image of what you want, loving energy, loving relationship, or achieving some goal, whatever it might be, circulating that energy of how it would feel if that was happening. Imagine having what you want. How does it make you feel? As you circulate the energy, you're absorbing as if it's actually happened. You're in that state. You're getting what you want. You're getting what you need. You're hearing good news. How does it make you feel? You know just what to do. How does it make you feel? Are you happy? Are you grateful? Do you feel relieved? Do you feel love? Do you feel trust? Believe you can have what you want? Imagine how it makes you feel. How else does it make you feel? At ease, comfortable? As you circulate the energy, this is your throat chakra, all the way up to the throat, all the way down, circulating. This is connection. How do you feel when you're connected to what you want? All those positive feelings, being in the moment, grateful for what you have, happy with your opportunities, releasing and letting go of all stress with relief. Maybe a sigh. Thank God. It's that feeling you have when you complete a job. You feel good about yourself. I did that. Another form of delight with yourself. We come up from the throat center all the way down, drawing the energy up from the spine with awareness of the red light, the orange light, the yellow light, the green light, the blue light. That's where we are now, in the throat, imagining blue light. This is all imagination. There's a spaciousness in this energy center, expandedness. And something I love to do in our meditations is to take a moment to expand like the sky, unlimited, unbounded. And that space, infinite space that fills your body. Take a moment to reflect on the relationship of your body and space. That your whole body is primarily just space. And it's the quantum field. And let your awareness expand as you become aware of the room that you're in, and the space that you're in. It's all part of you. You're part of it. It's part of you. Expand to the home that you're in, to the town that you're in, to the city that you're in or nearby. And expand to the north. Expand to the east. Expand to the west. And expand down into the earth. Expand out to the whole state that you're in, to the country that you're in, the continent that you're in, to another continent. And so that we can be connected in this, let's all just expand to North America where I am. And then expand the globe to South America, Central America, South America. And then expand over to Africa, South Africa, Northern Africa. And go to Egypt, the Cairo, the Great Pyramid where I just was. Imagine your life climbing that Great Pyramid one block at a time. And that's our lives, climbing higher and higher one block at a time. And go to Europe, Russia, the Middle East, expanding over to all of China, Indonesia, and Australia. Taking in the whole globe into our awareness, the whole world. Included into our awareness, energy field. This is the expansiveness of the blue, and the blue expanding out to the solar system, to beyond the solar system, more solar systems, more suns, all within the galaxy, and then expanding out to another galaxy, and the awareness of the space between the galaxies, and go in further to find more galaxies, to infinite space, and let the blue light permeate all. So nice to expand out with all of you. Together, we're one with the universe, one with the divine, expanding out. Blue like the sky. I want to share this back when I was 20 years old. I remember doing a Yogananda chant. And a beautiful song, but it's the first time I really felt oneness with the universe. It was this chant that says, I am the sky, mother. I am the vast blue ocean of sky. I am the sky, mother. He was a devotee of the divine mother. I am the sky, mother, the vast blue ocean of sky. I am the sky, Mother, the vast blue ocean of sky. Feeling your oneness. Let your awareness now come back into the body. Come back to you. A drop of that ocean in the vast blue ocean of sky. You're but a drop. Little droplets, all expressing the divine in different ways, knowing itself, experiencing more and more experience. And this is the third eye. This is the pituitary gland and the eye in the center of the head. Let your attention go there. The eye in the center of the head. Have awareness of the brain, back of the brain, front of the brain, the middle of the brain, the forehead. Here, imagine a purple light. You can imagine purple, but you can also imagine, mine seems to be today golden white light. Bright, bright golden white light, because we went to the infinite. Usually before I go to bed, there's a big purple light, a ball of light, purple light, dark, right now. Either purple light or golden white light. And when you're feeling this center, this is the self-knowing, this is the self-reflection, this is the self turning back on itself, knowing the sense of who you are. So when you're feeling you have what you want, how it makes you feel at ease and comfortable, then ask the question, who am I? I'm a good person. I'm a loving person. I'm walking my journey at ease and comfortable. I am strong. I'm loving. I am capable. I am at ease. I am comfortable. I am a magnet attracting beautiful experiences, wonderful people. I'm a magnet attracting success, opportunity. I'm a magnet drawing in wisdom and light and truth. I am knowing. I am understanding. I am at peace. Oh, we went a little over time today. Let's go right up to the crown chakra and once again give praise and give thanks to God. Imagine a beautiful halo of golden white light circling around, a crown circling around, golden white light. And the message of this day, after I am one with, I am one with God. I'm one with Mother Earth. I'm one with the water. I'm one with the crystals. I'm one with whoever your inspiration, whatever energy you want to radiate with. This is resonance. I am one with. I'm one with my wife. I love her. I'm one with my children. I'm one with the divine. And I feel at ease and comfortable. So let's finish today with a nice, sweet affirmation. I am at ease and comfortable in all situations. I am patient. I move through life effortlessly, one step at a time. Right now, I'm in the process of fulfilling my mission in this world. I am not alone, not needed. Let your whole body just sizzle in the divine energy and the golden white light and feel peace. So when you're ready, you sort of rub on your face. And I was at the soul search and someone shared with me something called heavening. It's very sweet. And it's a nice way to end your meditation or anchor you into this meditation at any time. You start by just a little massage of your face. Maybe you can watch this. There's some basic movements here. See how I'm moving? And then I go like this. I move like this. So the movements are from the forehead around the face, and then hands around the nose and coming down. Just a nice loving rubbing of your face. And then taking your arms and kind of giving yourself a hug, kind of massaging down your arms. Put a smile on your face. It's very sweet. Do that 5 or 6 times. And then this interesting movement here, which I like, is your hands moving across the hands. I think you can see it. Yeah, you can see me doing this. It's like this. Oh, nice way to end the meditation. It's funny. That's one way to end. Just kind of massage yourself. Another way is to pat yourself. Different energies. Well, everybody, I certainly enjoyed that meditation. And if you fell asleep, that's fine. If you just wandered off, whatever, having a nice, comforting voice, say nice things as you go through the different energy centers. We went down and then we brought our energy back up. And you can bring your energy down. And this is the circling of the energy that we got to at the throat center. So enjoy that meditation. And that was fun to do. Every Wednesday, we do a meditation. Sometimes we repeat them. Sometimes we do something new and different. I look forward to spending this time with you again. Tangela, you can come in and thank everybody for joining us. I want to remind you that over here in Marin County, it's not too late. We're on Wednesday. It starts Friday from 9 o'clock to dinner time, Saturday from 9 to dinner time, and a Sunday. Maybe there's one person wondering if you want to come on out. We'd like to have you at the class. And also at our soul search, we had a wonderful Santa Cruz talk. And what's our next one? It's actually going to be right after my course ends. It's
Exactly. It's this weekend in San Rafael.
San Rafael. That's just a 10-minute drive from Corte Madera, which is where our courses are. And that's for people who aren't familiar with this area. It's right outside of San Francisco over the Golden Gate Bridge. So we look forward to seeing you there. Other things you'd like to promote or let people know, Tangela?
Just to let everyone know that if you could not make Juan's talk live in Santa Cruz, or you can't come to Soul Search or Corte Madera this weekend, you can see the live stream of the talks on our YouTube channel. So you can tune in there. And John's talk this weekend will be Sunday at 5 p.m. So he'll be coming straight from his weekend event. So hopefully you guys can tune in or come join us live in Corte Madera and San Rafael. So we hope to see you guys there this weekend, either live in person or virtually joining us.
I always like to mention a little bit about body health. And, there's so many great opportunities today to, in a natural way, be healthy, have more energy. And I know that I'm really sort of a natural guy. I want everything to be natural and love, and that's the thing. But we are exposed to a toxic environment, and we do need to be able to detox. One of the easiest ways to detox is facilitated fasting. Sometimes we just have too much toxicity, and the fast is hard and it's difficult, and when toxins start to come out, they don't make it all the way out. And so the life force gets blocked. So it's hard to do. There's easy ways to do it. And I've done all kinds of fasting in my life, but one of the things I do now is a protein shake that both Tangela and I like. And now lots of people are doing it because I'm talking about it. I was inspired to share it with people. I've always been a big fan of fasting, but it's hard for people. We like to eat, and to go without food. If you see, when you're digesting your food, you're getting you're getting the nutrients you need, but particularly you're getting amino acids to make your brain work better, make everything work better with amino acids. They're inside of your protein. But when we're stressed, we don't break down the protein into amino acids. So we don't get the amino acids as much. And so, we have ADD type symptoms, depressive symptoms, anxiety symptoms, and we need the building blocks. We need these good attitudes. We need these good ways of thinking. We need relationships, but we also need the building blocks. And if you're not getting the love and support in your life, if you're not feeling at ease and comfortable and connected to your mission and so forth, now you're out of balance. And when you're out of balance, your digestion doesn't work as well. And you're not going to get the amino acids that are necessary for all of the functions in the body. Enzymes make things happen. And enzymes are produced from your amino acids that are in your protein. Everything. It's just like so important. Fat on our body is fuel. But if you're stressed, you can't even use that fuel. And so then you crave carbohydrates, which gives you bursts of energy, but too much of it, you crash down. And then we have prediabetes, diabetes. We have it's called insulin resistance, where your body is not, the insulin, which delivers the fuel into the cells, doesn't work well. And so this can all slowly be reversed with fasting. And my experience and so much research shows it. But once again, it's hard to fast. It's like meditation. Many people won't meditate because it's hard. But actually, if you just kind of lie down and listen to me talk, it's pretty easy. Until the channels open up, and it becomes the easiest thing in the world, just to breathe in light and love. So we have to train our bodies to do it. Same thing with fasting. And so there's a way to fast, which is quite easy. And don't even think of it as fasting. Some people are kind of scared of that. Think of it as eating more. Okay, so what you can do is it's called Isoline Pro. It's a particular shake. And we have coaches that can help you do this program, so you're not doing it all alone. So I don't want to try to explain it all. I talk about it every time, but it's you take this special protein. It's the only one that does this. I've looked at all of them. It's like undenatured whey protein. Undenatured meaning it hasn't been destroyed by high heat. And so you have undenatured protein, and you add to it these special enzymes that were a Nobel Prize discovery. Okay, this was big news. You can take these enzymes, and they help break down the proteins when you eat them. But then another scientist, a Swiss scientist, discovered that if you combine those enzymes with good protein, easy to digest already, which is your whey protein, your mother's milk, basically. Or if you're in Egypt, your camel's milk. I was telling everybody, you get the best camel's milk here. It's the easiest to digest. But you take the powder and then you add enzymes to it, and it's already made in this package. The 5 enzymes are there, and it's a lot of protein. Then you put that in warm water, about 100 degrees, and you let it sit for 45 minutes, or you can let it sit for hours. It's like turns to foam. It digests it for you. And it does something even more efficient than your own digestive system, which is amazing. If you digest a steak, you're only going to get 30% of the amino acids. If you digest your beans, vegetarian protein, you're going to get 10% of the amino acids. If you have like a whey protein shake, or some kind of other vegetable protein shake, soy or various ones, you're only going to get 15% of the amino acids. When you actually take the time to incubate, a lot of people they don't plan ahead enough. I know it's a bit of a hassle, but you incubate. then what happens is you get 90 to 95% of the amino acids. This is so profound. The reason I'm teaching this is that 25 years ago, I had Parkinson's, which another way of understanding it is inhibited dopamine function. Now, on a milder level, that's what all ADD is inhibited dopamine function. The inhibited dopamine function means that you become addicted to high stimulation, and normal stimulation is boring to you. Life becomes boring. And I have to say, there's actually a book that I like the title of it, and they're talking about the same thing, Dopamine Nation. This is we're all addicted to higher levels of dopamine. So that normal life is boring. We have to keep looking at our phones. We have to look at movies. We have to have drama in our lives. We take on too much to do, or we can be too hard on ourselves. This is all, anytime you're looking at negativity, or you're getting digital stimulation, or you're living in a lie, like emergency, this is, we have, life is like, if you watch TV, there's this pandemic, and there's this emergency, and this drama, this anxiety. We're living in an altered state, a not real state of the beauty of life. And we can't access it, actually, unless you heal dopamine function in the brain. Because once you have high stimulation, this is like PTSD, high stimulation, as soon as you don't have high stimulation, then you feel despair, you feel bored, you feel life force goes out of you. Dopamine doesn't work. And so then your brain goes to something that will stimulate dopamine. And in PTSD, you go back to the trauma that was the high dopamine. So this is, if something bad happens to you, as soon as you start to relax, your brain goes back to that bad thing. Ironically, back in, I don't know, 25 years ago, the Army had me, go to Germany and give talks to all the generals and the high brass, and the wives of these generals made them bring me there. Why? There's a big secret conference and whatever. And I was explaining to them that with meditation, you can heal this, and with the right nutrition. I was explaining you have to heal the brain, both physically and emotionally and mentally. And I told them, whereas this is before it was well-known PTSD, and I was explaining this phenomena. It wasn't called PTSD there. I call it the delayed reaction response, which is when you have a trauma. If you now go and relax, the trauma comes back. This is what happens when you get married. As soon as you're married and you feel really safe, then the traumas of your life come back. Your brain, we just can't handle that much at ease and comfortable and love. Well, as soon as we start to feel all that love, the brain says, oh, I'm going to lose my aliveness. I feel flat. I feel bored. And so I got to go back and experience drama to get alive. And you have no control over this until you heal. I mean, to a certain extent, we want to control these things, but literally, you can't just fabricate aliveness. You can do things to stimulate drama or intensity, but then it's good to have excitement and pleasure and just the easy things of life. Be free of addiction, be in more control of healthy things. So anyway, all of that is the foundation that I learned. That's what Parkinson's was extreme dopamine, inhibited dopamine function, which means that dopamine also controls your muscles. So when I would use my mind, my muscles would start to shake. My head would go like this because I had no muscle control. If my limited dopamine function was focusing on thinking. So anyway, so I learned about this, and I went and I got $10,000 treatment in Mexico to pump in IV amino acids into my body, and it cleared up, and then it went away, and then I did it again, paid another $10,000 to get amino acid treatment. So I figured, okay, I don't want to have to keep paying $10,000 to normalize myself and gradually heal my brain. So I invented a shake, which was a protein shake, a high concentrated, undenatured, not your regular protein powder, but undenatured protein, whey protein, and some casein protein, and the right balance. And then add enzymes, and then add to warm water, and then let it sit. And what it does is it takes out those amino acids. You're getting $10,000 worth of amino acids, basically. And you'll notice it in your brain. It's just the best brain thing. And because it helps your brain so much, you can now fast because you don't get hungry. Okay. And even when you go on your fasting days, you do 5 days of amping up the protein. So you're doing about 140 grams a day. That's ideal. You could also do, less than that. But if you do 40 grams every 4 hours, so you're amping up protein. You can even eat meals if you want. If you're hungry, eat meals. Try to stay a little bit healthy. But do that for 5 days, no deprivation at all, but you're eating way more calories of protein. You won't gain weight from that at all. It's amino acids. You gain weight by eating your carbohydrates. That's it. So now you're getting so much protein, your brain doesn't crave more. Dopamine is saying, I have enough. You don't need the sweets so much. And then you go 5 days and you go 2 days where you're not having those protein shakes, but you have a collagen soup. You have a protein soup. So you're having less calories, liquid, and throughout the day you're having soup and some other cleansing elements that isogenics, the company makes isolene. They also have like a drink that helps your gut to soothe it as it's detoxifying. It's a delicious drink. So you drink that a few times a day. And then 2 days of that or 1 day of that, and then go back to your shakes. It's a wonderful detox. And the result of a detox like that is two things. One is it gives your digestion, because you're not even digesting heavy proteins, is now your digestion will go into parts of the body and digest toxins. Okay, digest toxins. And because you're in that state of supporting detoxification with things like aloe vera and various things that are in this string and herbs and so forth that are known for thousands of years to help your body detox. What happens is your body can most efficiently let go of that toxicity, but it doesn't feel deprived of nutrients because you've been stacking them during the week. You've been producing a lot of extra calories in your body, but not calories that will put on weight, okay? Because you're producing amino acids and your body says, thank goodness, now I'm getting what I need. It doesn't put on weight. And people who follow that pattern, 4 weeks of that, the average is 15 to 25 pounds of fat, not muscle mass. You actually get muscle mass during that time, even though for several of those days you were just having soup. So, and not feeling hungry. And you can always have snacks too. So there's just protein snacks are the ideal. So having said that, that's what our coaches will remind you to do. And if you want to try doing this program for a month, I continue doing it. I don't do the fasting every month, but if I start to get a little belly, and for me, I was motivated to do it because I've been doing intermittent fasting also for a 1 meal a day for 15 years. What happened is my metabolism slowed down. So now I'm careful to eat a lot. Okay, as long as you eat a lot, your metabolism will speed up. But I eat a lot of protein because when you eat a lot of protein, you don't put on weight. You actually strengthen your muscle mass. You strengthen your metabolism. For those that are hanging in here and continuing to listen, I'll just explain this. It can seem complicated, but what happens is anytime you diet or even fasting, okay, eating less calories, your body will reset itself and lower the metabolism because it doesn't need a high metabolism if you're not eating a lot of food. So you're resetting your metabolism. But then when you start eating food again, your metabolism doesn't reset. It doesn't immediately say, oh, I can handle all this food. It says, oh, let's just store that food, and you get fat. So doing this program, when the research came out about it, I was thrilled and I did it and got great results because the fat around my belly was now at a danger zone. Even I didn't look overweight, but you measure your belly, if it's 40 inches, beyond 40 inches is risk of cardiovascular disease. And so so I measured and oh my God, I'm 40. And in that 1 month that I did it, I went down like 1.5 inches. Now I'm down 2 inches from that place, and which is great. Metabolism slows down as we get older. How do you bring your metabolism back up? That's your energy production. That means food goes in, your body converts it into energy. Well, how do you raise your metabolism? One way that's inexpensive is you amp up your proteins in a fully digestible way. Now, because I like to do at least 3 shakes a day, I love getting those amino acids into me. It charges my brain up, gives me focus, gives me motivation, all that good stuff, clarity, takes away any negativity. What happens is the I don't want to have it make it and sit for 45 minutes. So I got a big blender and I six put in 3 servings with 3 servings of warm water, and I just let it sit all day long. First 45 minutes, well, I let it sit all day long, and the last one I put in the refrigerator for the next morning, so it's already made for me. So I'm going to go up from this talk and go have my shake. It's already made, so you can make 3 batches at once. It just turns to foam. It's quite amazing. It's not like milk. It's some other creation, which is pre-digested amino acids. As far as I'm concerned, I'm getting a week's supply for, what is it? For a week's supply, maybe like $100 for a week's supply, which normally if I went for a week of IV drips, it'd be $10,000. It's amazing. This is a miracle. And the other miracle is the capsules that I sell at Men Are From Mars, at MarsVenus.com, and it's called Elemental Orotates. And it is a collection of adaptogens, which are known herbs and natural substances that help lower stress level. One of them is like ashwagandha. Many people now are aware of ashwagandha. But there's a lot of other ones as well. And there's also special minerals, trace minerals that also amp up the digestive process and the metabolism in your body. So that's all natural. It's not stimulants. But the main ingredients that really have the unique quality you can't buy anywhere else, and which is why I promote it, is lithium. Lithium is a mineral. It's a salt mineral. And if you take too much, it's toxic. Everything is toxic if you take too much. And you can't buy it in stores. And it's illegal in other countries. Only in America is it legal. It's legal to take. You can have your American friends send it to you. It's just that stores aren't allowed to sell it in other countries because it's not a drug. It's just a mineral. And it's just that this is the nonsense of the pharmaceutical industry trying to keep people from taking this mineral. The mineral works so well. And I'm doing this conference when I was in Cairo, and sitting next to a famous medical doctor, a brilliant guy. And I told him about, he works with people's addictions. That's inhibited dopamine function causes addiction. And I'm saying, but in your programs, are you giving them lithium orotate? And he goes, oh, we can't give lithium. I said, why is that? And he says, because it works so well that people think that if I take more of it, then I'll get more results. Okay, because see, if you take too much of it, it's toxic. Just like if you took too much salt, it's toxic. If you took too much anything, it's toxic. Too much of a good thing is not a good thing. You have to have a wide range of dose that has no possible side effect. You have to hear this. Oh, it could have a bad positive, negative side effect. No, you can drink the whole bottle and you'll just get a stomach ache. It's just taking 2 or 4 capsules will give you the maximum benefit. After that, it doesn't give you any more benefit. It just serves a function, which is we, particularly in our modern day life, a function that we really need a lot of help with because it helps to inhibit this dopamine function from going out of balance. It tends to balance dopamine and serotonin in the brain, excitement and calm, excitement, danger and safety. It balances those things in the brain, doesn't suppress it anyway. But if you were to take, let's say, 50 times the dose that's in my capsules, or you were to take 500 times the dose, which is what doctors prescribe, then you would have some side effects over time. So they say, oh, it's very dangerous. You have to measure how much is in your bloodstream. And they make it a big, big deal. When if you actually take the dosage that I recommend, you can't even measure it in your bloodstream. It's such a small dose. We're talking about 5 milligrams to 10 milligrams of the actual lithium itself. Now, lithium is bonded to a substance in mother's milk. I'm really wild about mother's milk, even if it's cow mother's milk. But it's lithium bonded to orotic acid. And orotic acid now all these studies have been done on it. And that's not what the doctors prescribe. it facilitates the transport of the lithium into the brain. So you only need a little bit. Like if you were smoking, for example, is the major source of natural lithium. Tobacco has lithium in it, which is why tobacco is so calming. And and by the way, if uh, just to keep in mind that if you're having any of the long COVID symptoms, well, something that's really helpful is the nicotine patches, just like 7 milligram nicotine patches that help people to stop smoking. But the nicotine patches, just put it on your body. I've told so many people about this and who had long COVID, and most of the symptoms are gone in a week. It's quite shocking. I can't say for everybody, but it's quite amazing. But at the same time, nicotine, active substance in tobacco, tends to be also directly related to lithium. Tobacco is a major source of lithium. Beets is also a major source of lithium. But if you want us to be free of this spike protein that everybody chose to put in their body, the dumbest thing ever, we're now seeing that, then you can help kick that out of your body with the nicotine patches. Um, all I know is that when it comes to mood and improvement of mood and so forth, lithium orotate is fantastic. And you can buy lithium orotate online. I'm not the only source of it, but what I have is a form that I know is properly made. Not all of them are properly made. Dr. Nieper, who invented it, had a formula for how you bind lithium with orotic acid, which we know the formula. Other people just stick it in a blender and stir it up, and it's maybe it doesn't have the same effect. I just know that the one I have works really, really well. People have been loving it for the last 25 years. And I bond it also I add it into the capsules with magnesium orotate. And you can look at these, you can actually look at the research. The research is online. But if you go to marsvenus.com, right at the top of the page, you click the button for men or for women to get the lithium. It will take you to Amazon, and there it will tell you all the benefits of it and so forth. I don't do that at my website. I kind of keep my website just about relationships, but there's just that one link. That's how you can find it. So that's a lot of information for those that hang in there, haven't yet got those. I know so many people are doing it. They all notice the benefit. If you don't have ups and downs in your life, then you may not notice the benefit. There'll still be benefit because lithium has been proven to cause the cell regeneration, and the most recent research on orotic acid that the lithium is bonded to transport it into the brain. Orotic acid is able to go into the genome. It goes actually into your mitochondria, into the genes to repair. It evidently has this now new benefit, which is it facilitates the repair of your genes. Now, that's also why we meditate, is to connect with, when you feel that energy, that's what's often called an etheric field. People have clairvoyance. They will see an energy field around people. And that's your etheric field. And that's the hope of mankind, because the etheric energy has the blueprint that created the physical genetic blueprint in the body. So that's your genes are, in their purest form are in your etheric field. And then you have then from there, it's the intelligence or the blueprint that helps your body have the physical blueprint of you, which is your unique genes. Nobody has the same genes as you. Maybe your twin does, but they will mutate after birth and change. But you have your own fingerprint. You have your own uniqueness. Nobody like you in the world. And you're here in this world for a reason. And so everything you need is there. That's what grace is. If you're just in touch with what you truly need, what's most important to you. And if you're suffering, you look at, okay, what am I doing to myself that I need to seek support in some other way or support myself in some other way? And the suffering goes away. Suffering is God's gift to you to tell you your thinking and actions are going in the wrong direction. And there's so much knowledge we want to explore to find the right way for each person. But the etheric field has your imprint. And what they're doing now is gene therapy. That's what this shot was. It changes your genes. It goes into your gene, changes your body. And We don't want to change our genes. We want the genes God gave us, and it's all in the etheric field. So part of why people have miraculous healings through prayer is that disease is the distortion of your genes. They get they get inhibited by life when you're not getting enough nourishment, not getting enough love, when you're not expressing enough love, which is the machinery of who we are. Then what happens is there's damage to our genes, and when we have that damage to the genes, that we have a ability to reconnect. So it turns out uric acid bonded to minerals brings those minerals into the genes, and the uric acid just itself facilitates the genes in recorrecting themselves. Because when you have errors in your genes due to lack of support, wrong thinking, etc., when you have errors, and by the way, what are those errors in your genes? When you're believing lies, the more you believe a lie, you get genetic damage. So there's illusions. Life is filled with illusions. And TV and the news is probably the biggest illusion that there is. Deceptions is that we're being lied all the time. And you kind of think, where is the world gone with all this deception? I was just watching the debate last night. One person lying, another person lying, which is like all this deception. Well, and a lying can also be omission, not telling the whole picture. And the news never tells the whole picture. And we don't even know the whole picture. So, there's sort of a deception when you look at, what happened, a huge trauma to our genes back in 2001 with the 9/11 thing. When you saw those buildings come down, everybody was told over and over and over that planes hit the building. And now there's, all the experts, everybody who understands architecture, firemen's, building specialists, they all know it's completely impossible for a building to come down in a footprint from a fire. It doesn't happen. It never has happened in history. It can't happen. Steel just doesn't bend like that. And so what you have is that was this big deception. It was a planned demolition. That they show all the little puffs of smoke going out the side where the explosions are going that cut the steel, so it go down and go down and go down, and complete free fall. And that same day, for the non-believers, you just go watch the videos on it. You'll see Building 7, which had absolutely no plane hit it, and that building came down at 5 o'clock later that day. They just pulled the demolition. Evidently, a plane was supposed to hit it and didn't. Who knows who did it? People have their beliefs. I don't need to go into all that. All I know is that now so many of the experts have signed on saying it's impossible that the planes did that. Yet we were all told to believe that. And then we were told that somehow, this is the biggest lie, somehow that Saddam Hussein had something to do with it. So we had to invade Iraq. I think almost everybody agrees that being told there were weapons of mass destruction in Saddam and Iraq was a complete lie, a complete fabrication. That was a massive mistake. And we see that Afghanistan war, a massive mistake. And what's coming out now is that that they actually didn't even kill. This is coming out very soon, that Osama bin Laden wasn't even there. Iran had put in a double. And that's why they threw the body in the ocean, because you could even measure the genes to prove that it was really Osama bin Laden. You see, we're constantly being lied. And the bigger the lie, the more it disturbs. It means the more you believe a lie, the less you can connect with the truth. But when you recognize, this is why I'm doing this for those that are still listening, when you have the awareness that can say that's a lie, then you're connected to what is true. It's only that consciousness that knows what is true that can acknowledge and see a lie. So some people don't like that. In my weekend seminars, I try to hold back, but I think it's just, it's on all the alternative news. You can hear all these, what's often called conspiracy theories. Most of them turn out to be true. And the more that you're aware of how you're being lied to, what consciousness is able to know that is a lie is that consciousness knows what's true. In the ancient scriptures in India, that's called Ritambhara Pragya, is that consciousness that knows what is true. And when you're believing a lie, you're now disconnecting from your potential to know that which is true. And when we meditate, we're knowing that which is true. All these wonderful positive feelings and thoughts and energy flowing and so forth. We're embedded in truth. And and name from Jesus, one of his most favorite quotes is, truth will set you free. If you don't know what's true, you're bound by the controlling forces that are lying to you. And in the Christian terms, that's Satan. You open yourself up to the dark forces. And more we're hearing about all of these child abductions and the child trafficking, 450,000 children that have been trafficked. People don't know where they are. Well, people know where they are. They're too dark to bring into this conversation. That's the thing, is that people just can't believe what's happening to these children. And it's not for me to have that teaching, because it's so evil and so dark. It's kind of like in the movies, don't say the name Voldemort. Don't say the name. So I'm not going to go into that place, in this pure place. It's just a downer, particularly shocking for people who don't understand what's really going on in the world. And, my good friend who's always in sort of the conventional world, believing all that stuff, I bring it up to him, and he says, oh, that can't be true. It just can't be true. It's in the news now, how many children are being trafficked, how much money is made by trafficking people, and the slavery that goes on in the world, that the dark and the evil forces. And, anybody's ever been in war, and I haven't, but they let me know that that's just something you don't talk about as either. It's a horrible, horrible thing. This is the dark side of life, and we don't look at that. And there's a benefit of looking at that if you can, and also stay positive. But people say, if I really tell you what's going on in the world, it's called black pilling or red pilling, and then black pilling make people feel afraid and depressed. I love learning about it all. I know all the details of it, because it doesn't scare me at all. I'm one with the God. I know that this is all the divine plan, because the only way for light to come into our lives is to find the darkness. And this is why in our meditation, we will tend to take time to explore the negative emotions. You have to look at the negative emotions and send them out. It's really just becoming aware of them. But energetically, literally, it's stale energy. It's blocked energy on a physical level. You want to send that out. Well, on a physical level, what lithium does is lithium helps balance the brain. These proteins are necessary for your brain to function. And while I'm at it, just make sure that you're not drinking tap water in most cities, because it has the fluoride in it. The fluoride is something that causes your pineal gland to calcify. You can measure they measure people's pineal gland when they die. They go into the brain, and they say that people have been drinking the water in certain parts of the country. There's more fluoride than other places. They don't put it into the water. What happens is the pineal gland calcifies, it hardens, it becomes a rock rather than an eyeball. It's literally like an eyeball in the center of your brain, and that's the part of us that sees light in meditation, and also will connect with your source, the source which is truth. Who we are is one with the truth, and different energy bodies. And that particular meditation that we did, which is 14 levels, 7 levels down, 6 levels up, 13 levels, that's connecting with our etheric body, which is connected to source. What we're primarily connecting with the etheric energy to charge the body, to send the messages to our genes, how to self-correct. And lithium orotate, particularly orotic acid, goes into the genes and facilitates what the genes require, besides positive thinking, positive experiences, to reset the body. It gives the body the actual mortar, the physical substance, the minerals necessary to activate genetic repair. So it's going to facilitate your genes in repairing themselves, and that's magnified by your etheric energy you're getting from your meditation, because our body is still pure in the etheric field. And the spike protein, the genetic changes they're putting into us to adjust us, to change us. Who are they? I don't know. But there's a spirit of darkness that motivates the evil people on the planet, and there's a spirit of good that motivates the good people on the planet. It's a simple way of looking at it. If you look at some of the ancient art from the Renaissance time, not that ancient, a few hundred years ago, but there's always these little in the darkness, there's angels and there's devils, and they're sending their thoughts. And there's a great example from the American Indians of, these two voices, the good and the negative, the temptation and the thing that builds your positivity is temptation, is when temptation is faced in front of you and you choose not to go that way. You're just strengthening, you're anchored your connection to source consciousness, the truth. So this is, and again, we have to have temptation to be tested. In the testing is we pass the test. It means we're more anchored in positivity. Think of it, we're being challenged to come back to who we truly are. And that's like going to the gym and being challenging your muscles go stronger. So this is part of our process of growth. The only way for darkness, for light to increase into this world that we live in, is with greater awareness of darkness. And of course, the dark forces have always been there. And what we see now is so much darkness, so many lies and deception. Well, that's just because we have greater consciousness to see those are lies and deceptions. There's always been lies and deceptions. There's always been slavery. The world's been a horrible place. It's not just, Black people are slaves. All of Europe was serfs. It's another form of slavery. You can't own property. You have no freedom. You're being controlled by a king and queen. And all the way throughout history, there's been wars and there's been slavery, not just Black people, white people, Black people enslaving white people. And it was just for those, this whole propaganda, how bad Americans are, because we had slavery of Black people in the beginning of the country. Well, the Asians, the Chinese, they were slaves. That was another slavery. You see all the movies and the history of the Chinese coming here. They were treating like slaves. Couldn't own anything, couldn't have opportunities, lived in terrible conditions. So you have all these different types of slavery, but it's the white people of America, those teenagers who wrote the Constitution. These are guys that are like 21 years old, 25 years old, 18 years old, the people who signed this amazing proclamation. This is a whole different time, but those people and the American people, the people who came here wanting a new way of life, wanting freedom of speech, the ability to protect yourself from a tyrannical government. That's the foundation of this country, freedom, the freedom to pursue your dreams. This is taking responsibility for your life, not being a child, not owing to a parent, a king and a queen. These are the people of America who abolished slavery. Actually, it was in England, but then it came to here. The white men are the ones who abolished slavery in the world. And yet we're over here and say, the white men, this terrible thing, the privileged men, whatever. No, America was created by white Christian men. Okay, just keep that in mind. Not that we open to all religions and everything, but it's the white Christian men that have their faults, have their problems, but they abolished slavery. They created this country. They established the Bill of Rights. This is the right to bear arms, the right for free speech, the right to own property, the right to no taxation without representation, and ironically, as America evolved, there was no taxation except on products. Now they invented in the last 100 years this taxation of your income, and we're supposed to be able. John, can we do meditation on the darkness? Absolutely. We have the meditation. I just want to throw a few more ideas out there. It's in our Bill of Rights that we have the proper, we can own property. But actually, we're all being fooled right now. I'd just like to reveal a few things. Is that you can't own your own property. You have a mortgage on your property. You can own your property, but you still have to pay taxes on your property. And if you don't pay taxes on your property, you lose it. The government takes it, or whoever wants to pay your taxes gets it. You don't own anything. And this is the forces. The United Nations is now joined with this other dark force called the global elites, the globalism. Whenever you hear globalism, just hear centralization, control, communism, and devil worship. They're seeking to control from one central place, which is the opposite of letting divine energy, which is everywhere, come through each person, and through free will, we learn to co-create with God. If we're just following instructions, we're not consciously co-creating with God. God gives us free will so that when we go in a direction which is not aligned with goodness, we suffer. Well, beings want to no longer free will, take away your free will. And this is, this is the World Economic Forum, which is now the directing arm of the United Nations, which want to take sovereignty away from America, from every country, which is one centralized group of people who are not elected by the people. They're not elected, one. And two, they can now create an emergency. They can declare a global emergency, pandemic, global warming, global wars. They can declare emergencies, and then all countries must follow their mandates. Mandate staying at home, mandate martial law, mandate take vaccinations. Think this, mandate pay taxes on carbon credits for global warming, as if we control the weather. And yet they also do control the weather. They had this thing called HARP. And for the years, everybody's been saying, oh, there's no chemtrails, these things, airplanes. Now they're admitting that they've been doing this for 25 years, that they put these particles into the air so they can now control weather. And it also causes pollution in the ground, which is also why we need to detoxify to get these heavy metals that come out of the sky in order to, which they say the reason they're doing is to reflect back the sun, which once again is a stupid idea. The weather has always changed, and carbon, just for people to know the real science. When they say all the scientists agree that's man-made global warming, it's not man-made global warming. It's God's global warming. God has always been changing the weather. Look at the temperature. There was this thing called the Ice Age. It's been getting warmer and warmer and warmer ever since the Ice Age. That's why we're not freezing, as that warmth come in. And then they say, global warming causes so many deaths. 10 times more deaths have occurred every year due to global freezing, where people have too much cold weather. We just adapt to the weather. We've always done it. People will adapt. It's a gradual adaptation. The water hasn't raised up and down. We're not flooding. Why are billionaires buying land on the ocean, buying little islands? Come on. Who are all these experts? They all work for the government. Yet all of the government things are trying to prove, and every one of their proofs from 25 years ago has not turned out to be true. So this is another lie that we're being fed. Yes, global warming is happening. It's not man-made. Global pollution is. I'm all in favor of let's minimize pollution. I have a friend, he has the patent for coal burning, which causes huge pollution, but they have a patent for burning coal without any pollution. And Russia's doing it. Russia uses coal and they don't have any pollution from it. The technologies are there. They have this long thing. They want to tax you based upon the energy that you use. Then they want to create global energy crises. They've already doing it here. They're going to say, we've run out of energy, so you have to live without energy. And then your energy has to be controlled. And if you use more energy, you'll be taxed on that. And then you balance that with carbon credits. So you get a Bill Gates who flies his airplane. He says, yes, we're producing lots of carbon, but we also are taking away carbon by our carbon plants, our plants that are taking away carbon. So they have carbon credits. It's all nonsense. What we have is a group of people who hijacked the American government, hijacked the world, something called the United Nations, which always sounds like a good idea. The devil dresses in beautiful ways. He's a fool. He fools everybody. Altruistic groups who are out there, these non-governmental organizations who seem all to help people. We're all helping people, helping the poor across the border. And then the children disappear. These NGOs, all paid for by United Nations and all with beautiful names. Oh, Catholic this, and they find out they're abducting children. It always looks good. It sounds so virtuous. Doesn't it sound good? Oh, your children to commit suicide. So to prevent them from committing suicide, let's just cut off their sex organs. Let's reverse their sexes out of compassion, because they're confused. Instead of recognizing they have a mental illness, which you handle through therapy and nutrition and good hormonal support, let's give them the hormones that make them more out of balance and cause more suicide. There's no research showing that they've saved kids from suicide by these crazy things. We're living in a crazy, topsy-turvy world. It's always been crazy. It's just now they're not hiding it. They're coming out with full crazy, full evil, which we have a choice. And one of the beautiful things Jesus said is, I don't come here to make peace. I come here to create division. This is like, I couldn't understand that. And then there was this guy on YouTube explaining it. And he says, just like Jesus, he came to create division. So you have a choice. It becomes very clear. The good guys and the bad guys, the white hats and the black hats. This is, you have a choice. Where are you going to go? Now we understand. Now you have a choice, like with our meditations we do, which is you can choose to feel the darkness inside of yourself and then replace it with the positivity. If you can't feel the darkness, if you're running around with addictions to avoid what you feel, then you don't have no choice. So now, and then if you feel your negativity, nobody taught you how to let it go. So we have a choice now. It's very clear. Where is the darkness? Where is the light? Where's the darkness? It's killing people. Who wants wars? Anybody that wants wars is the darkness. Who wants our borders to go away? Break down the boundaries. Let people who don't have our same values come into this country. And why do people even want to come here who actually follow the rules? Is because American values is what we want. And yet we have all these foolish people hating America instead of hating the takeover of America, which is trying to change our Bill of Rights, trying to take away the rights this country was founded on. And of course, I'm talking to the choir here. I understand this, but these are all nice points to sort of have your conversations with other people. And right now, people are thinking about who to vote for, what to do. Well, just think, who wants the border to be closed? Who wants legal people coming in here legally? Who wants them to come in illegally? Don't vote for illegal. Who wants war? Don't vote for war. Vote for peace. Stop the wars. Those two things, just those two things. Oh, who wants free speech? Now, how they do this, I don't know. Oh, it's all hate speech. So yes, we should stop hate speech. Well, who determines what hate speech is? It turns out that if you question the government, it's hate speech. If you question anything that if you question vaccinations, that's hate speech. If you question immigration, that's racism. That's hate speech. If you question anything, that can be hate speech. So it sounds so good, doesn't it? Oh, we want speech to be free, but we can't have hate speech. Yes, you can. If who's determining what is hate speech? Then people say, what about fire in a theater? That's, you have to be punished for that. Well, that's deception. Okay, so that is basically against the law to do. So I'm not, when I say we have free speech, the law says that if you purposely mislead people, it is hate, not hate speech. It is against the law. Okay, if you threaten someone's life, that's against the law. So legal, free speech and what's legal, but this hate speech they want to make illegal. And who's to determine hate speech? And what nobody says, they said this in debate as well. Well, we all know that it's not legal to call fire in a movie theater. Well, think about if there is a fire, or if you think there is a fire. If you think there's a fire, shouldn't you be able to say there's a fire? Of course. So if you know, this is called intentionality. If you know you're lying and you say fire in a movie theater, then that's illegal. If you think there's a fire in a movie theater, that's legal. And maybe there's not a fire. And therefore you said something that's a lie, but you didn't intend to mislead people. That's not against the law. That's not against the law. And we want people, if you think there's a fire in the movie theater, I want you to yell fire, fire, if there's a chance of that. But that's hate speech now. What you think, that's people have an opinion. This is what free speech is. And they're able to oppose the government. They're able to question the government. They're able to criticize the government. They're able to criticize each other. You're able to say these things. And, oh, it hurts my feelings. Or, oh, it's not just it hurts my feelings. That's the weak people who get hurt by words. My mother taught me as a child. That's one of my values. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words can never harm you unless you let them. unless you're weak, unless you're not connected to truth. This is called not taking things personally. Oh, we become so sensitive. Our feelings get so hurt. And if our feelings are hurt, then you hurt me. No, I'm just speaking my truth. You have hurt feelings. That's your own sensitivity. That's your own inability to forgive. That's your own ability to not have an open mind. That's your illusion that you interpret things to be hurting you. And that's a whole nother subject about learning how when you're feeling hurt, that's like a part of your brain that's 6 years old, who doesn't know that what other people say doesn't necessarily have to be true. So, you can only hurt my feelings if you say, John, you're stupid. And a part of me doesn't know that I'm not stupid. If you say I'm stupid and I know I'm not stupid, I can go, okay, that's your point of view. Because take it personally as you say I'm stupid. And then I go, oh, you said I'm stupid, then maybe you're revealing something about me and other people will now think I'm stupid. Well, it's certainly not comfortable to have people write negative articles about you, but you have to keep in mind that for me, I look at my history, not for, what was it, for 10 years when I was the biggest selling author in the world, writing Men Are From Mars books and all the follow-up books. I never received a positive print interview. It was maybe towards the end, there were a few what's called love letters where they just say positive things about you. But during the rise of that was a force that was trying to squash me. And the print interviews, TV was still sort of not massively controlled. And so people love listening to me talk. It's fun. I'm bright. I'm playful. I talk about something that's relevant to everybody's lives. It was always interesting. I was on all the shows. And then in one day in the year 2000, I was on a list, and the list said, John Gray, the biggest selling author of the last decade, of the whole decade. I sold more books than any other person. So that was the top. And somebody saw that and they said, oops, we've let him get too high. And I was canceled from every single national show. And one day I was not allowed. The people who I knew, all these TV people interview, they were perplexed. They were told, well, we've done that. We're not going to do that anymore. It's an agenda. The agenda is he's talking about men and women are different in a positive way. We're not saying good things about men, one. And two, we're not saying that men and women are different. We're saying we're all the same and we're superior to be feminine values are superior. See, there's the feminine side of us and there's the male side of us. The male side of us is capitalism. Female side of it is communism. What we can have is a blend of both, which is a capitalistic society that says, you work hard, you get the results, you earn them, you get more than other people, you don't work, you make mistakes, you're too greedy, you lose it all. This is the male side of us, which lives in a world of, risk. You have to show up or you don't get paid. And then there's the people who are wounded and weak and are sick, and we want to take care of them. We want to have health care. We have these emergency centers. If you don't have money, you go to the emergency center. And we have health care for people. I'm all for that. We have firemen that will come to your house. We have policemen. You don't have to hire your own guards. You can have policemen to do it. So you have social support. You have a social structure. So you don't have to hire your own firemen. You don't have to hire your own policemen. You don't have to hire doctor, et cetera, et cetera. But that's all been corrupted. It's massive. Not the firemen aren't corrupted, but the health thing is so uncorrupted. And now what we know is how corrupt the whole CDC is, which is actually a military operation. It was started as a military protection thing. It's hijacked by the evil beings is the pharmaceutical industry. They pay for the CDC, which lied to us during the pandemic and lied to us again and again, continues to lie to us. And all these poor women who got the vaccine and their babies were aborted and have problem children as a result. That's all come out now. It's all complete lie. They had no research showing that these vaccines were safe for mothers, safe for pregnancies. They had no research. They had no research saying that if you take the vaccine, you don't spread COVID. Okay, there was no research saying that. So that's where they got the whole pandemic of the unvaccinated. pandemic of the unvaccinated. Like we're the unvaccinated. We're causing the pandemic because we're spreading it. And of course, they get their vaccine. First of all, they said we don't get it and we don't spread it. And if we do get it, we still don't spread it because we're vaccinated. Nonsense. That's crazy. You spread it more than anybody. But more the vaccine people are getting it way more than the non-vaccine people. And wearing a mask doesn't stop it from spreading. I saw two people at the so sweet women who were wearing two masks. I said, why are you wearing masks? And they said, oh, we have colds and we don't want to possibly spread it. I said, that's so sweet of you, but it's still going through the mask. Cold germs, flu germs, whatever, they go right through the mask. So what can you do? Is just don't get close to people. You can spread it, there's no doubt, but you have to be close to somebody. Yeah, or with cold, it's a lot, but touch, that one. Flus, viruses don't go through touch. And of course, we had all these people cleaning everything. Then they realized, well, that's not the case. People staying 6 feet away. It's not 6 feet away. There's no research on that except from the 1800s. They just made it up. But the women said, well, why do they wear masks in the hospital? They didn't used to. The only time they wore masks in the hospital is because they understood these are such tiny viruses, are so tiny. I would go right through a mask. The point of wearing a mask was when you're doing an operation and you cut somebody open, you don't want your saliva. You could spit, when you breathe out, there's a lot of liquid, there's a lot of wetness in it, and you don't want your spit to go into open body. Okay, so we have all these protections on our body, so you don't want to have your saliva go into their body. So that's why you wear the mask then, and that was it. After you leave there, hospitals are filled with sickness and disease, and you don't wear a mask for that whole thing. So, and there are certain things that do travel through touch. Anyway, that's a big subject, but not all things. But cold germs do happen by you touch people who have cold or touch things with cold germs, and then you touch your nose, okay, touch your ears, okay, your nose and ears, and that will get into you that way, actual physical transport of it. But just, and breathing really close to somebody can transmit it. But at a distance, a few feet away, you don't put your face in somebody, you don't stare at someone so close, you're fine. That's it. And the washing the hands thing is because you can shake hands with people. I personally wish we did this. What the Indians do is just like a hello, not a handshake. But what can I say? If you want to shake my hand, I shake my hand. I just have to be careful not to put my hand to my nose, just in case they had a cold and they put their hand to the nose. I do have a bad tendency of itching my nose. Okay, gang, I spent 2 hours with you this morning. For those of you that wanted to hang in with me, here's some truth that clearly we need to have our protections. We need to have our free speech. We need to be able to say negative things about the government. We need to have a border. We need to clean out the CDC. We need to disconnect from the World Health Organization. This is a dark, dark force. They organized the whole pandemic thing. They planned it all out. They're planning another one. We don't want to give them any sovereignty. They control us in America, no doubt about it. Yes, they are trying to instill fear into all of us. Well, just look at it. And one of the greatest things about fear is think of the acronym. There's 2 acronyms that I like. One that I invented, but one that other people invented. And one is fear is false evidence appearing real, which is that's the force of the devil. That's the darkness of the planet, however you want to look at it. And yet there really are demons in another dimension. And they get into you and they control your thoughts. They create your desires. They rationalize things. And rationalization, you can rationalize anything based upon data. But is your data real or is your data not real? If a little group of 8 people actually orchestrated tearing down these 2 magnificent buildings from Afghanistan, and Osama bin Laden theoretically caused this thing to happen. It's a nonsense, complete nonsense. And it's all known Osama bin Laden was a CIA asset. He's playing on with the whole thing. And they knew exactly where he was the whole time. They waited right before the next election and they went in to kill him. The Iranians did a double. What they did is they tricked America. They took him out. They always knew where he was. The military intelligence knows so much. They took him out. Our guys went in by mistake, killed the wrong guy, but then told everybody we killed Osama bin Laden. and lied. And that lie's coming out now. I've just seen it's coming out, and that we completely lied about it. And then what Iran did is they said, we're going to tell the American people that was a lie. It was one of our own whistleblowers that's revealing it. But Iran said, and that's why they ended up giving Iran all that money, billions and billions of $150 billion. That was their money that we froze, but we released it to them. And it wasn't recently with the whole thing in Israel and all that stuff going on. It's because this president actually gave them some huge amount of billions of dollars so that they could now fund their army. And see, that people in this, you have to realize there's people that want war. They make money on war and they like war. This is a known psychological phenomenon. These are psychopaths. Psychopaths want to hurt people. They want to control people. And you're listening to me. We can't even imagine it. We don't want to control people. We don't want to hurt people. Who are these people? It can't be true. It can't be true. Yeah, but it's true. Anyway, I'm seeing people thanking me and so forth. You can send in your thanks if you're hanging in with me this long. A little bit of truth here doesn't can disturb some people, but for other people, it feels so good because it's once again connecting with the truth as opposed to the lies we hear in the news, in our culture, in our society. You know, this whole pressure. Men are bad, white men are bad, white men, this is like such nonsense. What can I say? A white man, privileged man here, and no question about it. And my privilege has made me a better person. I share because of that. But other privileged people feel guilty having more because they don't do good things. If you have more and you don't do good things with it, then what happens? You feel guilty. Then you want to be virtuous, and being overly virtuous is, everyone should have the same. That's communism. That's totalitarianism. It's never worked. It will never work. It's terrible because it's just one energy. It's not a balanced energy of our female side with our male side. And then what happens is, what we see is happening today, which of course is the females. Over time, the females lost respect from the males. So the women went, if we're not going to be respected as women, which is evil forces coming in, we're not going to respect our mothers, respect women, treat women with respect. When we stop doing that, then what happens is the they go, we need respect. We're going to become like men. Because if you have money, you get respect, as opposed to if you're a woman, you always deserve respect. This is our learning the female side of us, the vulnerable side of life. Children are the vulnerable. The females are the most vulnerable. They make the babies. We should be respectful of that. And being respectful of that, then women don't have to become like men to be happy, to get what they want. Because when you become like a man, you're not happy. What want is balance. You can have male qualities, express those male qualities, but balance it with female qualities. And for women who are naturally born with more male qualities, if your mother was toxic, if your mother was atrazine, will cause girls, pollution. Toxicity has been proven to cause some girls to become like tomboys. Doesn't mean they're mentally ill. It just means that they're going to be a little challenged in life to find their female side, which is where they're going to experience love and the ability to make babies. That's finding the balance. And for males, basically, I think I'm number 5 boy. My mother wanted a girl. So some part of me became more on my female side, which is a gift. I'm happy, I'm loving, I'm positive. But it took me a while to really engage myself, embrace work. I remember there was this funny TV show called Dobie Gillis when I was growing up, and he would always go, work. I don't want to work. And then I remember reading a book, which is work is great. Work, I can do it now. And started developing my male side. Fortunately, I was inspired by, I had a role model, Maharishi, who was a male who was very much in touch with his female side, but also his male side. He was highly disciplined. He worked all the time, but he was totally happy and fun all the time. And here was a role model of somebody who was, responsible, working hard, on a mission, wanted to help the world, was successful, and he was happy, and he was fulfilled, and he was loving. This was a role model for me of masculine and feminine, which is, I want that balance. I want to have it all. And of course, unfortunately for him, his tradition only brings you so far, because once you have that balance, then you have to bring that he had it in his work, and that's his mission. I'm not going to criticize him, but he didn't test it by actually being married. That's where you really, that's the grid of life. It's where you can have that enlightenment, but also apply it in a marriage where you actually have to deal with somebody else on an equal level, and be triggered by them and so forth. And the Indian guru disciple relationship generally doesn't have a handle on the whole idea of being the divine into the marriage situation. Uh, it's kind of like you take one path or you do the other path, as opposed to do both simultaneously, find your enlightenment as you're applying it in marriage. And that takes the more Western psychology of emotional intelligence, of learning how to identify that all your negativity is an overreaction. It's an overreaction based upon the suppressed emotions of the day. Or if it's more a triggered thing that happens in marriage, it's always an overreaction from your childhood, because you're dealing with the issues of your childhood that you parents couldn't help you deal with and you weren't able to deal with, but you deal with them later. That's PTSD. We all have PTSD from our childhood. Once we have more love, then the unresolved issues of our childhood begin to show up. And when they show up blaming somebody else rather than taking responsibility ourselves. And that's, the benefit of good therapy. And I'm not saying I'm the only one that teaches good therapy. There are some really good therapists out there that, they do timeline therapy, which means that if you're upset now, go back to another time, another time, another time. There's NLP, which helps with these things. A lot of different forms of therapy that help people to recognize that all their negativity is an overreaction and a lie. It's not seeing the whole truth. When you see the whole truth, everything's okay. You come back to, it's not a big deal, even though we can say it's a big deal. We blow it up. Oh, this is a big deal. When I look at how horrible these, destroying a whole country right now, doing in Iraq was it not Iraq? It's we already did that to Iraq. We doing it to the war that's going on right now. And, I just have to share something. So if you're still on with me, I'll share one more thing, which is something I heard. It's just so clear. Our people are saying the war in Ukraine is so expensive, and then the politicians are saying, "Oh, don't worry about it being expensive. It's helping jobs in America." So, in order to help jobs in America, we're creating a war. We're destroying countries instead of working on peace treaties and negotiation. And peace has been possible at several junction points, and it was our Western leaders that stopped it. And we want to win. When have we ever won a war after World War II? That's it. And we don't even know for sure that we won that war. If you want to look at it, if you look at what happened, all of the Nazi scientists came to America, started NASA, were put ahead of all the major corporations. These were all the Nazis came here. So there's a lot of Nazi influence in America. Anyway, now there's so many rabbit holes, and thank goodness we have YouTube for those of us that want to explore those rabbit holes, and people who dedicate their lives. For me, it's entertainment, because the more I find the deceptions and the lies, the more I'm connected with the truth, because it's only the truth that can recognize deceptions. And while I'm at it, and I'm going to finish now, and I'm having so much fun talking with whoever's staying with me. One of my favorite places I look at every week, it's just 20 minutes. And it's called it's called My Lunch Break. Okay, My Lunch Break. And now they've got 68 episodes. And what they do is they point out to you all of these buildings that are massively beautiful buildings. Okay, they're made out of granite, and they look like the capital of America. And in every major city they exist. And there's like 10 or 15 of these structures that are so amazingly constructed, supposedly created in 1850, okay, or in 1810. And they show pictures of these buildings in 1850 when photography was supposedly started. And you'll see that the people are in horse and buggies. They're living in shacks. And yet somehow they built these huge, beautiful buildings. See, the buildings were there from before. We are living in a total lie. And that when Columbus came to America, there were already these cities of gold and silver and beauty. That was what was brought everybody here, the whole thing, the promise. There was a whole civilization in North America. And it's the same civilization that was in Russia that was before that. It was called Tataria. And their symbol is these griffins. These are like these dragons with wings. And you'll see in buildings in every city these beautiful, amazing structures, and you'll see griffins on them. And you'll see all this symbolism on them from these ancient and current, just a couple hundred years ago. Evidently, there was some major catastrophe, like around before 1776, something around that time, which destroyed these cities to a great extent, and big, huge mudslides everywhere. So you have these pictures of where they're digging up the mud in 1750 or 1800, 1820, when they had cameras and they have this photography, and they show them the buildings are half covered in mud, and these structures and these cities, and there's cities of pictures of San Francisco from 1850, where you take a picture of it, and all of San Francisco is laid out and there's no people in it. So the idea is that we just found these places, and the people from the previous generation who kept a lot of the wisdom and knowledge of the previous generation before the whatever the catastrophe that happened. We don't know what it is because it's not in our history. This is the story. And I know it sounds so crazy. We just believe what we hear in history books. We don't know what happened 200 years ago. But what you see is photographs, and you see in real life. You just have to look at what's real. Look at this building. Could those people at that time, without any electricity, without any cranes, without any transport other than horses and buggies, could they have built these buildings that could last for so long? And then you go to Wikipedia and look at the history of the buildings, and they're all built like some made up name of some guy back in 1850 who didn't go to any college that taught architecture. The architecture like that wasn't even known. And he's built 20 of them all in the same month. It's all fake. AI's been around. Just there's so much fake history. It's just been the technology of that generation, of that civilization, has been slowly unfolding while I've been alive. The whole computers and all these things we do. There's so much we don't know that we've been fed. We've been dumbed down because we haven't known the truth. And when you don't know the truth, then you don't have love. You don't have wisdom. You don't have light. And so now we're at a time where these things are all being uncovered, just revealed. So check out, just for fun. And there's 5 or 6 different people who do this online with the photographs showing these structures. And then they say, oh, and here's the picture of them building it. And there'll be scaffolding around a perfectly built building. And really what they're doing is just repainting. But they're saying, here they're rebuilding it. There's no actual photographs of them building these structures, and no real history of it, and no possibility of it. The amount of men it would take. And they were all done in 1 or 2 years, supposedly. This is, when you start going down these rabbit holes, it's so much fun to realize that what we've been told is a lie and an illusion. We may not know exactly what the truth is. People have their theories and whatever, but at least to be able to recognize a deception and a lie can be so helpful. And it's scary for people who are not anchored into, this is God's world. This is God teaching us this, to see through the darkness and bring light into the darkness, to bring truth where there are lies, to bring truth where there's deception, to bring freedom where there's control. This is what we're living through, one of the greatest moments of our history, what history we think we know. And then you can look at the obvious truth. Go to St. Petersburg, the structures there, you see these pictures of Russia, these magnificent buildings in Russia. Go to St. Petersburg. They're massive. It's 10 times bigger and more wide than France. You see all these amazing structures. You go to Hungary, you see these buildings. And yet they say they were built in 1700 or in 500 AD. Who had cranes? Who had electricity? How did people do this? It's like we all focus just on the pyramids, thinking, how could these people have built these structures? Those structures, there's some pyramids bigger than the pyramids at Giza, all around the world. there was all these civilizations with high technology, and we think we're the most advanced. We've been taken over, just like America's been taken over by the dark forces. But the truth is coming out. And what an amazing, exciting time to know that God is real, that you have connection with the good, and you can align yourself with that to be a part of this amazing transformation of going to the depths of darkness and bringing in the light. I'll end with that today. For those of you who could hang out with me, thanks so much. Tangela, I hope you had time for this. Maybe you've already gone. That's okay. But if you can come back in, we'll say goodbye to everybody. And maybe Tangela is gone. And so, oh, she's still here. I need to hear you. Can't hear you.
Thanks, John. Thanks for hanging in there with us, everyone who's been watching and listening and learning. And John, thanks for sharing all of your thoughts and information with the community. And I can see people are commenting. I see. So that's great. So John, thanks so much. We'll see you this Sunday in San Rafael. So for those of you who can join John live, he is having a weekend workshop live here in Marin in Corte Madera. And you can learn all about that on his website, marsvenus.com. And of course, we are having a Soul Search Enlightenment Expo in San Rafael, and you can come see John live this Sunday or watch his talk on YouTube. So definitely stay tuned and come back and join us again for meditation. And we'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much, John.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. for the Radiant Mind Meditation with Dr. John Gray, the #1 trusted relationship expert, the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. What many people don't know is that John Gray spent 9 years as a celibate monk and the personal assistant to the founder of Transcendental Meditation. During this time, he learned powerful meditation practices and techniques, which he has developed and refined for the last 50 years. He now brings us his resonance, wisdom, and energy every week on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. on the Soul Search Instagram Live, Facebook Live, and YouTube. Join us every Wednesday.